We're live.
Oh, right, hello, Stan.
Hi, Dennis. How are you today?
I mean, I'm just trying my best.
Trying your best?
Yeah.
And what? Everyone's just throwing shit at you, right?
No, I mean, not everybody. It's just, it's part of the life,
Yeah, you're good at,
It's sometimes when things start, the snowball effect,
Yeah.
What?
And you're a pretty positive person. I'm sure you're,
Yeah, no, I'm straight, but...
able to just roll with it. But welcome to episode 101, Menace and the Man.
101.
Yeah. I don't know what I should start with. I'll start with I'll actually try out the Tipsy Lemonade today.
I do... They might all got drank at Dennis Maria's Day.
Did they?
I don't know if I have any more or not.
Bro. Dennis, you know who was fucking tipsy at Dennis Bermuda's Day?
Dennis Bermudez?
Dennis Bermudez. Dennis
Party.
You had a good birthday, right? Well, now your birthday was the next day, but we celebrated Dennis Bermudez Day.
Well, I mean, technically, we celebrated before my birthday and on my birthday.
Yes. But just tough with the COVID,
And yeah, we're over here following all these rules.
But even that we, had something happen, we obviously abided by everything.
Yeah.
But was that you that sent me that thing? How much they've spent on testing, or at least the figure that has been put out?
Oh, the UFC?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I'd like to give you all the facts, Dan.
That's pretty crazy. And they had
13 million?
Let me find out. What'd you send me it on? Is the question. But it was a very high number, and then even the testing rate was like 0.8% of positive tests, which is interesting as well. Because I think
0.8 or 0.08?
Let me find it.
Might be 0.8 makes sense. 0.08, they'd have to have thousands of people, right?
Per Dana White, the UFC have conducted roughly 26,300 COVID tests to date with a positivity rate of 0.8. So about like when you're blowing, or 0.8. So almost, 1.0. The cost in the neighborhood of $17 million. But I mean, drop in the hat for them. They're losing the live gate, but I'm sure they're making a lot on marketing, advertising, things like that, on top of whatever deal they have for distribution.
Yeah.
And I think they've been doing good. So even that crazy shit. Well, Dennis Bermudez Day was awesome. Shout out to the folks at Great South Bay for having Menace over there.
Did a nice job.
Yeah. We had
corralling us and letting us be in a bigger group of 10 without sitting 10 people at a table, or without having more than 10 people at a table. Very well done. Executed, I'd even say.
Yes, everyone was separated. We weren't too crazy.
Yeah. Max on. It was good.
New world, though. New world. Crazy. That was I mean, you've gone out. I don't think you've gone out drinking yet, right? You've gone out like
That was the most.
You've gone out to dinner.
Yeah.
But that was the most you've done something like that.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of fun as well. I got there a little late. I was doing some stuff, but then on from Dennis Bermudez Day, we move on to UFC 256.
I saw most of the fights. Some of the fights are blurry, but I watched the fights.
I think a lot of the fight was blurry for you.
Fuck off.
I'm just saying. I was there. You were partying. But UFC 256. So everyone, the next day, even you woke up and you were like, everyone's raving about this 125 fight. I didn't see that fight. Like, I watched the fight. I didn't see what everyone else thought. I thought,
Right. I definitely have to go back and rewatch it.
Yes.
I think what people were hype about was probably the high volume for 5 rounds straight.
Yeah.
There was definitely some gut and grit there where like you saw him take a deep breath and the other guy came forward and they stepped forward and just threw back.
Demetrius Johnson did that for years.
Demetrius Johnson's fights were more one-sided.
We need to see the numbers when the numbers come out. I want to know what, if UFC 256 didn't draw either, then what's all this excitement, Was the excitement just in the MMA community, or was that like a Forrest Griffin, Stephen Bonner moment where people were calling each other up or people were going nuts for? I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like that's probably a great fight or a really good fight that's going to be praised by the MMA community, but I don't know if it crosses over because we've talked about this. It's just weird. 125, just 135?
No. When you know what's going on, 125 is very exciting. Especially if you like moved around with some 25 pounders, you're like,
I'm talking.
Dude, the guy I move around with is really good and gives me a hard time. And then you watch these guys, you're like, well,
yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
I'm talking about for like what it sells, pay-per-view wise, and it usually isn't going to do any sort of numbers. At least that's my opinion.
Listen, I'm all about 125 pounders. Here's my take on it. I think Figueiredo is supposed to blow. I'm drawing a blank for the other guy's name, like completely out of the water. What's his name again? Moreno?
Brandon Moreno.
I think Figueiredo was supposed to blow him out of the water. Like,
Moreno's tough. Him. Yes, I guess so. I mean,
and then they can better sell a super fight like
he won
Figueiredo versus Cody or Figueiredo versus Cejudo if he comes back, or Figueiredo versus even if they can get Mighty Mouse back, So I think Mighty Mouse I don't think he crushes him, but I think Mighty Mouse beats him.
So the fight was a draw because of a point deduction and a bad referee.
Right.
So one referee gave Moreno the 5th round, which he did not win, and that's what caused the fight to be a draw. On top of a point deduction, and I forget which round from Figueiredo that caused him to basically...
Yeah, so if I poke you in the eye stand, right, and I get a warning, if I poke you in the eye again, then, all right, take the point. My bad. If I poke you in the eye and I kick you in the dick, that's not me trying to get every advantage in the fight I can and damage you and get 2 strikes before I get a point deducted. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think.
Which in hindsight, I should have been poking people in the eyes and kicking them in the dick and be like, all right, my bad. Sorry. I won't do either one of those again. And the guy is slightly impaired. I win the fight.
Oh, the guy's definitely impaired. I've had that where I've been punched in the back of the head and you're immediately impaired.
But listen, he didn't mean to poke the guy in the eye. He didn't mean to kick him in the dick. I think you need to do 2 of 1.
An eye poke, you're immediately impaired.
Yeah.
A groin strike, it depends on...
listen, you get 5 minutes for each one.
But all states are different. You don't get 5 minutes for an eye poke in every state. I don't even think that's like a rule.
You have time, though, right?
You need a good referee.
Yeah.
Who will kind of change the rules a little bit on the fly and give you a little bit of time. But
because that's tough. You get poked in the eye, 30 seconds after your eye just got gouged. You're like, you good? Can you see? You're like, can I have a second?
I think the rule is, though, just for groin strikes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but how are you going to give out a point?
Take away a point. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a really good fight. I didn't get the craze for it. But again, like, I'm a bigger guy, I guess, or I was a lightweight, welterweight. I think of flyweights as, yeah, they're awesome people. I trained with some. I think they're cool. But, like, when the main event, like, if they would have been like Tony and Oliveira, we're going to give you guys 5 rounds, and we'll give these guys 5 rounds, but we're going to make you guys the main event, I wouldn't have been mad at it. I would have been like, all right, I get it.
That would be one way for those other guys to get 5 rounds.
I think the 125, it just has never drawn. I don't think Figueiredo is going to all of a sudden be the guy that Cejudo was the guy, but he wasn't around long enough at the top. If anyone was going to be...
They just need to do a better job of branding those guys. Moreno, I didn't know about who he was until I saw him fight on the same card as Figueiredo, 2-3 weeks ago?
I mean, I guess they could look at markets. Figueiredo would have been their Brazilian superstar at 125, but still, he wouldn't have been Anderson Silva. He wouldn't have been, even Aldo or Renan Barão or,
Yeah, but you don't know that.
I've seen him fight. I don't think he was that level. There would have been like a Demetrius.
I think hang on. You're actually starting to sound like a casual, Stan.
No, I think Demetrius would.
What do you mean no?
I think Demetrius would come in and spank him. Demetrius would come in and work him. Cejudo would come in next weekend, and if could make weight, would fuck him up. You know what I mean?
I don't think you're wrong, but I would like to say I'm saying you sound like a casual, almost like kind of knocking down the 125-pound weight class because they don't have a lot of knockouts.
No. I just am saying I enjoy 125. I'm saying from the devil's advocate perspective, if you will, that they don't draw. And everyone was saying how great the fight was.
Well, I'm saying, the UFC can have cameras following these guys when they're not fighting, build them up, and they will draw.
Yeah, they could build them up.
Oh, shit.
They could build them up better, but Figueiredo's not going to be a star in America. He'll be
does he speak English?
No. Moreno wouldn't even be a star in America, even though he's American and Mexican. They would market him as like a Mexican.
Yeah, but is he from Mexico? Does he live in Mexico?
No, I think he's from California.
Okay.
But great fight, nonetheless. Not trying to be a hater, trying to play the other guy on the shoulder, and just pointing out that 125. I'm saying 125 is the main event of this pay-per-view.
125, yes. When you look at the stats,
this pay-per-view probably didn't do well. So that's what I'm saying. Like on Twitter and everything I saw was fighters saying this fight's amazing. I didn't see, random tweets and random posts and the world going crazy for this fight. You know what I mean? Like if that was Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier having a fucking dust up like that, the world's going to be like, holy shit, did you see that Conor McGregor fight?
Right.
But Charles Oliveira, Tony Ferguson, very entertaining.
I made $15 off of it.
Very entertaining to see just the passing of the torch, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah.
Because like we talked about, Oliveira's young, so you can kind of put his losses behind him, especially that he's on this roll. Ferguson's the first guy he didn't finish in like 7 fights.
Round, right?
No, 7 fights, 8 fights. He's been finishing.
Yeah, but was he finishing them all in the first round or just finishing them?
Finishing them. I think a couple people made it to
I think you're right.
But just finishing anybody at that level in UFC, he's finishing top 20 guys. Top 15.
He didn't finish him?
He didn't finish Tony, no.
Yeah, that's wild. That armbar didn't.
Oof, close. But finished Kevin Lee, finished Jared Gordon, Nick Lentz, David Tamar, Jim Miller, Christos Yagos, and Clay Guida. So that's a impressive resume.
For sure.
But
and then as soon as anyone wins, right, you start seeing them like, especially if they're like, I started seeing him versus like Khabib being like, hey, I don't know, question marks.
Beating Tony though, that just makes Oliveira the new Tony, kind of like the boogeyman. Nobody's gonna fight you. Nobody wants to fight you.
Right.
Even though we spoke about this a little bit, love Tony, but I think maybe the knee surgery, maybe old age.
37.
Yeah. Well, correction, I have to correct myself. He's actually 36, but he's about to be 37, the beginning of 21.
Right. But
Miles.
We always say, too, fighters get so many rounds. I think he might be past the rounds that one should do.
If Tony's a car, Tony's a classic with 200,000 miles on it. Like a fucking... Still runs really good, but he's any day now. Something might blow out on him.
Right, he's had transmission change. Sometimes they don't pair up good with the old engine.
Yeah. Replaced the whole intake. I had a couple of years ago, I hit a speed bump. I hit this bump, and I was like, oh, shit. I had to replace the whole chassis, you know?
Yeah.
But now what's next for Oliveira? He's in that mix. We spoke about it a little bit with Ally Quinta. Gaethje, Chandler, they're talking about for UFC 257 maybe being a backup fight, but I don't think that might be too soon.
Why didn't that fight get locked in?
I don't know.
That sounds like a great fight to me.
Amazing fight. I think.
Or Chandler is already. If you're trying to get your bang for your buck out of a guy, you could put either of those two with anybody, and it's an exciting fight. You know what I mean? Like, if you put them together now, it's like, well, he beat him, so.
Yeah, and even with Chandler, they have that interesting. They can give him anybody right now.
Right.
And people
He's just getting the hey, you're not. This isn't Bellator. Which Bellator? I'm switching gears real quick just because Bellator came up. Yoel Romero went over the Bellator as well.
Yeah.
As
Rumble.
Verdum.
And Rumble Johnson.
Are they all in the same weight class? No. Verdum's heavyweight.
Yeah, and the other two are going to do. Yoel's going to go 205 now. No more 185.
I know.
Yeah. So now, did Bader, I forget if Bader lost the heavyweight or the light heavyweight in his last fight. But now, so for Bader, you got Corey Anderson just went over there, won a fight in the mix. Rumble coming over, and now Yoel Romero.
Bro, Yoel Romero versus Rumble Johnson. There are very few UFC fights I would watch over that one.
Yeah. Very
few.
I could see that being one of those ones, though, that Yoel doesn't engage for, you know? And Rumble...
I don't give a shit. Well...
Rumble would just fuck him up.
Have you ever seen Rumble not engage?
No, Rumble would probably fuck him up, I'm saying, yeah. I'd root for...
Yo, if you stand there with him, he'll stand here too. Like, yep, okay, this is good, friend. Like...
Yeah.
Well, if you press him... And you're like,
and so,
I'll kill you? He's a gangster.
Bader, absolute gangster. Yoel's a gangster, absolutely. But so
he's not being pushed around for fucking shit.
But so Vadim Nemkov, the guy who just finished Bader, is now the 205 champion. So that's a wide open division with all these new guys coming in. One fight away from a title shot, kind of.
Bro, Is the UFC 205 division like?
They're getting there. Hang
on, right? I would say.
No. What's his name? Scott Coker said that once. He was like, "Our light heavyweight division is on par with UFC," and Dana White was like, "What are you talking about?" And it even fits now. He was like, they're like our rejects or whatever Dana White said. He was like, it's made up of all the guys we didn't want. He just announced we got all these cuts coming. He said Rumble, and he even came out and said, he's like, Rumble Johnson wants to be in the UFC. It just didn't work out. Like whatever we were trying to make happen didn't happen. Verdum fought out his contract, and I think, wants to go fight elsewhere. He's, who knows what Verdum's deal is. Verdum's up there. He might want to, I don't want to throw shit. I'm not throwing shade. I'm saying maybe he wants to jump back on something good. Jump back on some sauce or something, Get off USADA. Stop dealing with that nonsense. Then he's up there, so it's a possibility. And then we got Yoel. Dana White said it, and Yoel is a superstar, and you look at how good he is. He's lost, I think, 4 of his last 5, or,
That's so funny. The best fighter to never have a title, and that's probably Yoel. I've seen that meme. The best fighter to never have a title.
Yeah. When you said that, Cowboy jumped in my head, but I think Yoel is better than Cowboy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of who else could be.
Uriah?
He held the WEC belt. Never
Not
the
UFC.
Never the UFC. This is true. All right, because that could even be Cowboy. Cowboy held the WEC belt, but
who else?
That's a trivia question.
I'm in there somewhere. No.
Yeah, 100%. Dennis Bermudez is up there.
There, but not.
We had
I'm not in the conversation now.
We had. So now, even here, we'll talk before we go to Mackenzie Dern and we finish recapping this card. We got what's next now for Tony Ferguson. Are you still going for the title fight? You know, post Khabib, because that fight's done.
Right.
That fight's 86. That fight's, Dana White said it's not meant to be. It's just not.
I don't know, man. I think right, we spoke about him being in the past like a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, right? He was, there's people like hiding in his walls or some shit like that. Like,
I mean, we've spoken about this too. Cocaine's a hell of a drug. I think he was experimenting with some booger sugar or something. Or, realistically, you might have some brain damage or something if you're hearing people in the walls.
Okay, he's lost 2 in a row. You know what? He is 2 wins away from give him a title.
One big win. One big win and an opportunity. One big win and an injury or something like that.
Yes, for sure. So I wouldn't say this dude's out of reality, you know what I mean? But he's still after his loss, he's been pretty active on social media, kind of camp shit only or champ shit only and that stuff. I know that's his trademark, but
hey, you know me, I'm a Tony Ferguson fan, but I'm just wondering what he does now. Do you fight another Charles Oliveira type? Someone that
he's got to fight a top 5 guy.
Does Tony Ferguson fight Dan Hooker now? Or wait a little bit and I mean, I know Ally Quinta's coming off a knee injury. Does he now fight Ally Quinta, go to the bottom of the top 10? What do you do then?
Like we said, he's going to be 37.
Or is it still in the mix, Tony Ferguson's fighting, Chandler next? Chandler, the winner of Chandler Gaethje or the loser of Chandler Gaethje or,
Maybe. He's got a lot of options. He draws a lot. He didn't fight bad.
No, but even both of them, we don't know where, because the way 155 is right now with the question mark at Khabib, Conor Poirier about to come up, Chandler coming in, we didn't really get an answer from Oliveira Ferguson other than Oliveira's right here above Ferguson.
Well, I mean, there's only a couple spaces above him. Where else you gonna put him?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Oliveira almost has to wait now for other fights to play out before he knows what he's doing next, Or everyone's waiting for Khabib. But the lovely Mackenzie Dern got her nose fucked up. You saw that?
Maybe.
Did you don't remember that fight? You weren't coherent for that one?
No, I do. She was really being I do jiu-jitsu, but look at this. She was putting her striking game on display for sure.
I think she's ever improving. I think she's the future champion of that weight class.
And that's at 15, right?
115, as long as she can keep making it. She's now, we spoke about it with Jessica Penne, she's now made it 3 times in a row, so I'm into it. The girl she beat was really good. I told you, she looked like Miguel, one of our old friends. She has that,
You're going to tell me she can hang with, Thug Rose and...
Mackenzie?
Joanna Champion?
Mackenzie?
Yeah.
If she keeps improving on her stand-up, develops her wrestling a little bit, yeah. I think she might still be young, too. She's 27. So... I think Rose is older.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how girls work. I don't know if that's young or old or... old for girls is a little later, no?
No, Rose is still young, too. Rose is 28. I don't know. We'd have to ask women about that when they feel like they peak.
I know they like mature quicker than men in terms of like puberty, but I don't know when in terms of performance when old is for a girl.
Yeah, I'd assume it's probably similar to men. But
I don't know. I mean, they are not taking the same.
But did you
like per pound per inch abuse? You know what I mean?
Or they are taking the same. Oh, you're saying they're taking shots from smaller people.
Right.
All right. Yeah. But what's their impactability or durability, if you will? So they're still taking
for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
But then we'll move on from that. Kevin Holland, Jacare. So this fight was like, all right, Jacare got him down. He's going to win. And then so you've been very rarely, on your back. Like even when I saw a stat once of like people on their back and you weren't on the list, I was like, when the fuck was Dennis ever on his back? And then there have been like, do you even remember any of the times you were ever on your back? Very short periods. Like I had
there's on my back, and then there's people having my back. People have had my back longer than I've been on my back.
I'm saying like ground control. Like
I know.
Yeah.
So people have been on my back on ground control longer than I've been on my back. Like.
Yeah. So one of those things. So when you're on your back, how many times have you ever thrown a strike that affected the outcome of the fight or hurt the guy? Yeah. Usually you get hit with one, you just bury your head, stop getting hit. He hit Jacare with the good one. Jacare lifted his head up, got hit with a better one, and then was like, oh, wait, shit just got real. I've never seen, I've seen people get rocked with strikes and like pride and shit. I've rarely seen it in the UFC, maybe up kicks, but that was one of those ones where you're like, oh, okay, that was fucking crazy. He rocked him with just the...
And I'm like, was that a freak coincidence? Could that happen again? Is the matchup, is that one of those fights where like, yeah, okay, 3 times out of fucking 10, Holland wins and then Jacare wins? Or is it like, no, Holland wins everywhere, every time?
I think Jacare wins that fight most of the time.
That's what I think.
Yeah, on the feet, and
it's crazy,
and on the ground.
You can't be like, oh, well, this kid hasn't been with a good jiu-jitsu guy. Like, no, he's been with the best, and still won.
Bro, Jacare's really good. We talked about it on the feet and on the floor, and a win over him for Kevin Holland puts you right up in that. When you beat Jacare, it's like, oh, so you're in the top 5. You're ready for the top 5.
And he called out that Chimaev, right? Is that his name?
Chimaev. I like, I even like, Chimaev still needs wins, but obviously he has that drawing power, and we've spoken about it. Take his steam is what somebody needs to do. Yeah. But I like Kevin Holland versus Marvin Vettori. Like, you can give the winner of that a title shot right now with them both.
That would be wild.
Yeah. They're both winning fights, showing that.
I'll tell you what, that dude's hungry. Would he fight 5 times this year?
Something like that. I think 5.
That's insane.
4 or 5 times.
And he still wants to get like another one in before the end of the year.
Yeah. Oh, and then that guy that, what's his name? Junior Dos Santos got fucked up a little bit. The guy he fought seems like he's legit.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, I missed that one too. We were driving at that point. Uber. Safely. Just driving safely. But, no, I'm saying not drinking and driving. Dennis Bermudez, though.
They should have the fights in the rear views of the... No, I'm kidding.
Of the Uber, they 100% should. UFC should strike a deal with Uber.
Yep.
Boom. You're welcome, Dana. But Cyril Gane seems like he's going to be, if not a future title contender, maybe a future champion. Or at least,
the odds on that were insane.
But I didn't remember seeing the guy fight until I saw the guy fight, and then I was like, oh, this guy. And he looked way improved from what I've seen in the past. He looked really fucking good. And then Fizayev fucking up Moicano was pretty impressive. The Hickman brothers dude, the Tiger Muay Thai guy. And then you saw immediately after the fight, I don't know if I sent it to you, I sent it to somebody. Fizayev was like, Ally Quinta, how about me and you on the same card as your boy Aljamain versus Peter Yan?
That's right.
That's not a bad fight. But then Ally Quinta was like, no, I'm good.
Was that fight at lightweight or featherweight?
Lightweight. And then someone was like, what are you scared? Ally Quinta was like, I'm doing physical therapy, you dickhead. But good old Al. But Cub Swanson knocking out Pineda.
He needed that win.
He needed that win. That was an upset. Something I was going to tell you when I first got there, but like just the chaos, you were 3 sheets to the wind, as they say by that point, was the Chase Hooper fight. I watched that on the drive over. Chase Hooper got fucked up and then pulled a heel hook out of his ass and fucking somehow won. So good for you, Chase Hooper. Brandon Moreno and Figueiredo got fight of the night, performance of the night for Kevin Holland and Fizayev. But Fizayev looks like he might be a contender.
I mean, dude's jacked to the hill.
And Kevin Holland looks like he might be one of those guys that just with, I don't want to say luck, just putting in the work.
Yeah.
So you've seen it before. Like when you're in training camp and you're fighting consistently, you can maintain that conditioning. That guy's a killer right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Going from fight to fight, that guy's in kill mode.
Yeah. I'll be right back.
Where you going?
I just gotta pee real quick.
All right, you do that. But yes, everyone out there, if you're from the New York area, make sure you guys go try Great South Bay. I'm currently sipping on the Roasty Toasty Stout, 6.0 alcohol. That's some deliciousness. But yes, Dennis Bermudez Day was hosted by Great South Bay. We had a lot of fun over there. Menace was wasted. When I say wasted, he didn't even remember seeing me until he knew that he saw me the next day from like text messages and communications, but he was gone. And then me, so Menace and the Man made a TikTok. Obviously, we had to make a TikTok and just post memes and shit, but I was like, man, why didn't I bust out the phone and start recording Dennis for some TikTok videos?
Yeah, you really dropped the ball there.
A fucking idiot. Idiot. That would have been so sweet.
I probably would have done anything you said, like, Dennis.
Anything.
That's the man. We're going to make it. Do this. Fine. Like, my crossbow got taken down at some point in the night. I, like, broke a cabinet.
How'd you break a cabinet?
Getting down the crossbow.
Yeah, you were.
Not a big deal. I super glued it this morning. Or yesterday.
Menace was wasted, but yes, UFC 256 was pretty sweet. A few COVID tests happened, and then there were even some COVID happened during this week's fight. Your boy Bilal.
Did he get it again?
He didn't have it twice. Yeah, I don't know. Vicky had it twice.
Well, like it seems like between him and Jared and his camp and right.
Yeah, it's. But Jared is now in Florida, so Bilal is in.
No, I know that, but.
Yeah, his associations, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. They definitely cross paths, right?
Yeah, so he was supposed to fight this weekend, and now that fight's off because of COVID.
Hex. Who was supposed to fight again?
Sean Brady. And then this fight, I don't know the accuracy of this card because they have 15 fights on it. So how many times have we seen the UFC do 15 fights?
Is that a lot or a little? It's a little, right?
No, that's a lot.
Uh-oh.
Usually they'll do like 9, 10, 11, 12, maybe 13.
15 fights, huh?
15 fights. And then some good ones. This is like Jillian Robertson's fighting, Greg Hardy's fighting, Marlon Moraes is fighting.
This weekend?
This weekend. That's why I'm almost wondering, like, is this an era and they have, like, numerous cards mixed up, or... Let's see what UFC.com has. Yeah, UFC.com still has some old fights. So I don't know what the actual card is. So...
It's Thompson Neal.
Yes.
So, Jose Aldo versus Marlon Vera.
Yeah.
That's pretty huge.
I see that one.
Marlon Morales versus Rob Font. Pretty huge. Greg Hardy is in there.
I mean, those are some...
Did Greg Hardy fight that guy?
Those are some pay-per-view worthy fights right there. No, Greg Hardy never fought that guy yet. Yeah, so even when I'm looking on Google, anywhere, it's saying that's the fight card. So they're going big.
Anthony Pettis on the preliminary.
Preliminaries. Well, I talked to you about that. I think he's on that decline as well as Tony Ferguson. And even when they fought each other, it made them both look like they still had, not throwing shade, but more in the tank than they might actually have.
Rick Glenn went up to lightweight.
Did he?
I think he's been at lightweight for a couple. This might be like his second one.
He's fighting Carlton Banks or Carlton Menace.
Yeah.
So we'll assume that this is the whole card. We'll rattle off these undercard fights. We'll rattle off these main card fights, and then we'll talk about whichever ones that you think might be interesting to you.
Mm.
I mean, Rick Glenn versus Carlton Menace. Obviously, I think you're going to root for Rick Glenn.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Let me have a look here.
If he got highlight reeled, you'd be like, yes. Well, not really. I mean, Rick Glenn definitely has a lot of UFC fights for this guy to be coming in now and fighting. And this
guy's dropping down from 170, I think.
Yeah. And this guy's 1-0. 0-1 in the UFC. And he's fighting Rick Glenn, who, I don't know what he is in the UFC, but... I thought Rick Glenn had more experience in the UFC, but Rick Glenn's got 1, 2, 3, 4...
I'm gonna go Rick Glenn.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Rick Glenn as well. I'm not gonna bet against the man. Jimmy Flick versus Cody Durden.
I'm gonna go with Cody Durden.
Why?
He just has less losses. It's not that I've ever whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get so many losses, you know what it feels like to lose. You know, because I remember fighting fucking what's his face? Who's the first alpha male guy I lost to?
Elkins?
The Damage. And like when he took me down, I was like, fuck. And then he had my back from like, well, I guess he wins this one. You know, I'm like, but then it clicked in between rounds. I'm like, no, fuck that. Like, go whoop this dude's ass. You know what I mean? But there was this like, I lost, you know, for a little bit of time.
Yes.
Just because I've been there before. Like, I know what it feels like to lose a fight or whatever, you know? I still think I won that fight, but for the record. But in terms of, like, just... the more losses you have, you know what it feels like. That's all, you know.
Yeah. I agree with you. And even like we've spoken about, I think once you have some losses, the playbook is out on how to beat you.
Yeah.
So, like, if I watched you fight and I saw you get tired and I saw you quit, I go, all right, if I can press this guy and stay in the fight for...
I just got to take a nap. Or, like, he sucks at wrestling. Or
If this guy's got...
I would watch my opponents. I would only watch videos of them losing.
Oh, yeah, even that. Like, something I said to you in private, like, I messaged you after listening back to the last episode, drunkenly. I was like, yeah, you and the Flair and Wade, you guys had cardio that you needed. And what I meant to say is where you guys made a difference... Well, that's what I said. Where you guys could have made a difference was your cardio. And you were like, what the fuck did you say? And I was like, what do you mean? And then I listened back and I was like, oh, you took that the wrong way. Like, what I meant was where you guys could have beaten most of the guys you fought and stood out from the rest of the pack was you guys all had good cardio. Obviously, like we spoke about, different levels to it. But you, Dennis... you, Ryan, and Chris Wade all had better cardio than some of the guys I would see as I would go train in other gyms. And I'd be like, you fight in the UFC? Like,
right.
They would fuck you up if you guys made it to the 6-minute mark, 7-minute mark,
Right.
Which is part of fighting. You know what I mean? Like, which is a real thing. Which we could almost, let's finish this fight card a little bit, and then we'll talk some Jake Paul. Because that's where we could segue. But... Tafon Nchukwi versus Jamie Pickett.
I would like... So I know I said about, like... You don't know how to lose. I would like to think that Jamie Pickett now... There's knowing how to lose...
You have the fight card up?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then there's... experience.
Yes, that's the thing, too. Like, you could... Like we were saying, the playbook's out on how to beat somebody. The playbook's out on how to beat Jorge Masvidal. But Ben Askren wasn't able to implement that game plan.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, there's that type of thing. And then it's like Jorge fixed some things that Usman had some trouble implementing that game plan,
Right. So I'm going to go Jamie Pickett on that one. Just
a lot more experienced than the other dude, but 4-0, that's like the dude who just fought fucking, what's his name?
Which makes me... Sometimes when people have that low of a record and the UFC, there's probably...
No.
It's like, yo, this kid's the fucking deal.
Yeah, no, this guy...
I'm telling you.
This guy is like the guy who fought JDS. This guy is the truth. I've seen this guy before. This guy fights like... I'm
switching my pick.
Yeah, the guy he beat his last fight in the Contender Series was good. And then there's this kid, William Knight, who is like a UFC prospect that they put on a... What's it called? Like, what is it when they sign you to a contract, a developmental contract, and he fucked that dude up bad. This dude fights like just real, very polished kickboxer. He just fights real calm, real technical, and he's fucking powerful. So I'm going to go that dude.
I'm in.
At first, I read his name, and I was like, who the fuck's this guy? Then when I looked at his picture, I'm like, oh, I know this guy.
This next one, I'm going to go Draco.
Yeah, Draco Rodriguez versus...
I mean, I could get into it and look at who he's fought. I'm sure he probably hasn't fought as many good guys as Alman Zahibi.
Okay.
But I think Draco's a cool name. Next.
Sometimes that's how it matters, you know?
Yeah. And I got Deron Winn all day.
Deron Winn all day over Antonio Arroyo. Deron Winn. I hit up your boy Pitch. Nick Piccinini to come on the show, but he was training tonight because I was like, 125-pound fight. He'd be a good guest to get on. But Deron Winn all day. Mini DC. Carl Robertson versus Dalcha Lungiambula.
I'm going to go with Carl because he's in the red corner.
Okay. I'll go Carl as well. Sarge Eubanks versus Pani Kianzad.
Eubanks is my homegirl, blonde fighters homegirl, so I'm going Sajara.
Yep, Eubanks all day in that one.
I think she grinds her out, you know.
Yeah, I think Pani might be a grappler too, but I think Eubanks is like a black. I think she might be a Henzo black belt or Almeida black belt. She's really good, Eubanks, on the ground. And then obviously with the gym she trains at. So I'll go Eubanks as well.
Oof, Anthony's at welterweight. I don't like him there.
Because, like we've talked about in the past, he's not going with other people. He's not going to do the same road work. He's not going to do the same rounds to keep his weight down. He's not going to be as disciplined. Yeah.
I'm going to go with Alex Morano.
And Alex Morano's good. Alex Morano is 1, 2, 3, 4. He's won 4 of his last 5. His one loss is to the guy Chaos Williams. The guy Chaos Williams is also on this card, and that dude's really fucking good. He's got a couple of solid wins in the UFC right now. So I'm going to go... I think I'm going to go for Morano. That'd be a sad day to watch Pettis start losing to guys that you don't really know, not household names.
Well, I've been there and done that. Got the T-shirt.
Yeah. Why? Who was that? Basically, would you say Rick Glenn and Elkins?
Rick Glenn.
Yeah. I would say Feely. People know.
No, people knew Elkins too. The dude's like a fucking. He's fought everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. So our homegirl Jillian Robertson.
No, you skipped one. I got Greg Hardy versus.
Well, I'm looking on Tapology. They have so they have a different order. So Greg Hardy versus Marcin Tybura. This is a fight to probably get into the top 15 for Greg Hardy.
I think Greg looked so good in his last fight.
Yeah,
and I like him.
Yeah, and so he had his work with Dean Thomas, and I'm sure he worked with some of the other coaches at American Top Team. I think now he's kind of out on his own. He's working with Rashad. He's getting all these different looks.
Still with Dean?
Still with Dean, but I'm saying he's now, because Dean's no longer with American Top Team as well. So, yeah, he left American Top Team, and now he's probably getting the same attention that he got before. I'm sure Dean was giving him very hands-on approach, but now I think, like we spoke about, he's at that point where 3-4 years in, he's now getting the skills are coming together. So, and he's a super athlete. So I'm going to go Greg Hardy with the knockout. Marlon Mariah or Jillian Robertson, Talia Santos.
I mean, Jillian's been on the show. I got her all day. She got the most women's submissions in that weight class.
This was supposed to be Jillian Robertson versus Andrea Lee, but I think Andrea Lee got hurt. I don't think she got COVID. I think she got hurt. So,
how many fights does this girl have in the UFC that she's fighting?
Let's see. Contender Series win, a loss, and then a win. So, do you count the Contender Series as a UFC win?
For sure.
Yeah, so she's 2-1 in the UFC.
Well, it's a UFC win.
It's a pro fight, but is it a UFC win? But in today's UFC, that's what it is. There were more people in your fight for the Contender Series than there are for your fight now.
Because I count... I count the tough fights as the UFC wins.
Yeah, for you, 100%. If I were you guys all day.
Yeah.
Like, you should be... What are you set? They have you listed at 17-9. You should be 20-9.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Easily. Like, you're going to tell me those weren't real fights? You guys were playing around,
I fought Jimmy Vera, who was in the top 5 at one point, or top 3 at bantamweight.
Bro, even Stephen Bash was really good. Akira was really good, especially for that time.
Yeah.
And who was the other guy you fought in the house?
Brandao. That was it.
Oh, that was it? I thought it was someone else.
Well, the fight to get in the house was Jimmy.
Yeah.
Stephen Bass.
Mm-hmm.
Akira was the semifinals. And then Diego in the finals.
All right. So, Jillian Robertson all day. Greg Hardy all day. Marlon Moraes versus Rob Font. Now, this one...
Rob Font's tough.
He's from Rhode Island, Massachusetts area. He has a win over Sergio Pettis, is what catapulted him into the upper echelon of this weight class. Then a win over Ricky Simon. He has a loss to Asuncao, a loss to Pedro Munoz.
Yeah, which Marlon put on those boys.
Yeah, and Marlon's those guys with the turbo. You know, I think Pedro Munoz a better grappler than Marlon.
All right, let's say the 3-round fight. Who wins? Let's say it goes the distance. Unanimous decision. Who wins?
I mean, easily you could say probably Marlon 2-1.
Really?
Yeah, Marlon's going to win rounds 1 and 2 and then get tired, and Rob Font will come on round 3.
All right.
Something like that. So now this fight is going to be like wild fucking craziness. Michael Padera versus Chaos Williams. Chaos Williams actually fucked up one of my parlays not too long ago when he beat the guy. But when I saw him, I'm like, oh, this guy's the truth. He beat the dude Abdul Razak Al-Hassan, who's a fucking killer. But Chaos Williams fucking like knocked him dead. So this dude, Chaos Williams, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's got like 5 wins in his career inside of a minute or inside of 2 minutes. And then he's 2-0. He's 2-0 in the UFC. Both wins are knockouts under 30 seconds.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's big.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Chaos. I think Piera is completely like he uses a lot of energy with like no efficiency. You know what I mean?
This might almost be like the UFC matchmakers going, "We're done with you, Padera. We're done." You know?
Like, let's have someone beat you up with a better highlight than you could beat somebody.
Yeah, like the back flips were fun, but we're done here. We're just gonna get you fucked up real quick. I mean, he won his last fight.
I got Chaos Williams.
I don't remember his last fight, but he beat, what was a good Russian until he got to the UFC, and then the guy's now 0-3 in the UFC. But so he is coming off a win, but I'm going Chaos Williams. Menace is going Chaos Williams. And then we got Jose Aldo versus Marlon Vera. Very interesting fight at 135.
My brain is telling me Jose because my brain's seen him fight since I was like in college.
Jose.
Heart is saying Marlon.
Jose is now 34. And so similar to Tony, he's had some injuries too, but similar to Tony, I would say like Aldo is a fucking really nice car. Still running really well. A lot of miles on it.
Now, the thing is, I think for him to make 35, his conditioning's probably got to be on.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, when he fought Marlon...
Yeah, he's making weight by doing cardio. He's not making weight by, a stupid fucking diet or something.
1 second, my son's calling me.
All right.
Maddox?
You want to play Fortnite?
Can we play in like 10 minutes? 10 minutes.
10 minutes, okay.
All right, see you on there, bud.
All right.
I love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
Start saying.
And now they're about to close down. Your kids go to school, right?
Yeah.
They're about to close them down.
Really?
Yeah, tomorrow I think they're closing all. So they're doing like a prolonged winter break, and they're just shutting down. Yeah, they're shutting down for the Rona.
So you're telling me my son's not going to school tomorrow?
Yeah, that might be why he called you up to play video games at 8:20. Could be why.
I'll get the rundown in a little bit.
I'm pretty sure.
Work, but
So Aldo, Vera. You're leaning towards Aldo?
I'm. You know what? I'm going Jose. Because Vera, like, there's something about him. Like, you're like I see him crush people with like a nice placed elbow or whatever. I'm just like,
Vera's got that Sean O'Malley swag, too. He definitely took some of that by beating Sean O'Malley.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Like, he was walking straight, and then after he beat O'Malley, he started walking like a lip, you know?
Granted, but again, I think he's a tougher boy that beat another boy.
Yeah, no, he's a fucking gangster, Marlon Vera.
Listen, I say boy, but I'm talking about like muscle man.
Yeah. And even the thing I always looked at, like even when I looked at when he was fighting O'Malley, is I was like, ooh, this is a bad matchup if they're trying to make O'Malley look good because he's never been finished. Very tough, very durable, very hard to finish.
Yeah, but he got hurt. That's why I got finished, right? Yeah. He stepped weird.
No, I'm saying Marlon Vera. He's never been finished. So he's like when he fought O'Malley.
There's still an asterisk about him beating Sean. I'm going to retract everything I just said. There's still an asterisk of him beating O'Malley. O'Malley threw a kick and you said, he was getting kind of texed up a little or whatever.
Yeah, it wasn't.
He stepped weird in his ankle. He rolled his ankle where he
Yeah, definitely, but it wasn't going good before that. And I watched them rematch, absolutely. But I think what I've always seen from Vera, he's fucking good. Tough. His losses are to good guys.
Let me, because I don't want people to be like, who the fuck are you, Dennis? You're a boy. Or what do you have? Like, when I say a boy, it means if I could take them and I feel like I'd be could break them. Because, any heavyweight could be like, Dennis, you're a boy.
So wait, you were, all right, you covered it there. Because I was going to be like, wait, so you wanted to not be insulting? And you were like, I meant boy, I could take them and I could fucking break them.
Right, but,
Yeah. Like we spoke about.
Dennis, you're a boy. I'm like, yeah, I mean, to you, yes, I am. And that's what I'm saying in that,
Yeah. But they probably have something to say about that.
But hang on. I don't feel like I could grab Jose Aldo and break him, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't feel like I could. And let's go down a weight class to 125. I don't feel like I could grab Henry Cejudo and break him. Or Demetrius Johnson. That's what I.
And here's the thing, too. You're obviously satirical, and you're going off physical appearance.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
In my head, I'm blast doubling Vera or Sean O'Malley and just. They're not stopping. There's nothing they can do to stop me. But in real life, it would probably be way harder than I think.
Yeah, and you guys are having dog fights in the gym and blah, blah, blah. You're not fucking,
right. But, first go at them, I'm running that double, you're not stopping me.
And both of them unassuming, especially more O'Malley than Vera. Vera, you could size up and be like, all right. You'd size them up and be like, psh. Got this,
Yeah, and that's no disrespect on saying boy. I don't know. I was just saying, not muscly, developed, and also they're both young too.
Yeah, the world knows. But so Stephen Thompson.
Sorry, I just feel like I had to.
So Jeff Neal is on a fucking roll, and Jeff Neal's undefeated in the UFC. His last loss is 2017 to Kevin Holland. At 185, so I'm assuming he was at 185 and dropped down. And now, since he's been in the UFC, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 0. Big win over Bilal Muhammad. Big win over Nico Price. Knocked out Mike Perry spectacularly. Now he's getting Wonder Boy.
He definitely deserves to be this main event.
But Wonder Boy is Wonder Boy.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Wonder Boy is kind of like Damian Maia. If you could beat him, you deserve a title shot, or you're in the mix. And even I'll say this, and even you hate saying lucky because it's fighting, but Anthony Pettis knocking out Wonder Boy was you caught him. You know what I mean?
His face was mutilated prior,
and but he fought great. Pettis, he was peppering the leg and slowing Wonder Boy down. There was a setup to the punch that he did knock him out with, but
8 times out of 10, it probably doesn't go that way.
8 times out of 10, even that punch doesn't knock. 99 times out of 100, probably that punch doesn't knock him out. You know what I mean? The punch hits him and he maybe wobbles, or the punch.
He fought fucking Tyron Woodley and didn't die.
Yeah, like he got caught by Perez, which happens. It's amazing. You know, that's what you train for, is to get lucky, if you will. But so he's lost to Darren Till, very competitive decision. Darren Till won, obviously, clearly, and then
you have the odds for this one?
Let's see.
I like the underdog. Either way.
Jeff Neal might be the favorite even because he's coming on. So, very close. Yeah, Jeff Neal's the favorite, slightly. Jeff Neal, they got at, like, I'm seeing a couple different sites. I'm seeing minus 120.
What was Thompson's last fight again?
I'm seeing some sites have it even, but I'm seeing plus 100 for Thompson and minus 120 for Jeff Neal.
What was Thompson's last fight?
Luque, last year.
And he won.
He won. Very good fight, him versus
Yeah,
Luque.
I'm going to go Stephen Thompson then.
Okay.
Because Luque was coming on before that fight, right?
Luque was coming on hard. Yeah, Luque was on a roll, and then Luque won the first round against Thompson, and then Thompson made some adjustments and came back.
And he's training with his big bro, Chris Weidman now, right?
Yeah, this will be his first fight with Chris Weidman, living not too far from him and getting some rounds in.
I'm going to go Stephen Thompson on that one.
Okay. And now, so we'll end the show on this note. We'll get you on to play some video games with your kids. Your boy Jake Paul's fucking wilding out.
Like insane what this guy's doing right now.
So I saw the one thing Nate Diaz said, and then you sent me a whole bunch of things, and I was like, oh shit, there was more? Like, I didn't even know initially, because I was busy doing shit. Usually I'm on the tip of the MMA and pop culture, whatever. It happened so quick. I saw Nate's response. I'm like, oh, what is that too? And apparently Nate was standing up for Conor McGregor, indirectly. Probably standing up for the MMA community, but I'm like, why was he standing up for Conor McGregor? Then I watched what Jake Paul did. Jake Paul was like, yo, Conor, you're a bitch, you're afraid of me. He was like, you're probably hanging out with your wife who's a 4. You could do better than her. He was like, you're probably out beating up old dudes or something. It was corny, but then when he said the wife line, I was like, if you're in a nightclub, Conor is fucking...
Hang on. Nobody's ever Conor McGregor.
He's trying, but he's not doing it. He's trying to Conor McGregor. He's not as witty, you know? Like Conor usually will hit you.
Yes.
Conor's, when you get hit by Conor with the verbal, it's like, whoa, no one ever put it like that. Like Jake Paul.
Well, yeah, you're trying to run it back in your head like, how can I one up that? And you need days. You can't do it on the spot. You need to sit there and be like,
Jake Paul's doing the what do people say about Conor? Let me re-say that, except for the wife part. That's when I was like, oh, shit.
Hang on. Did you see he drove up on Dylan Dennis doing something?
Yeah.
Throwing water balloons.
Bro, Brendan Schaub must have been part of the setup or
Toilet
something.
paper.
So Brendan Schaub just had... I watched it. Brendan Schaub just had Logan Paul on Food Truck Diaries. And then like a couple days later, weeks later, however long the editing process is, you have on Dylan Dennis, and that shit happens.
Oh, it was at...
I mean, amazing marketing by Brendan Schaub. Hats off to you if you fucking had any hand in it, you know?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Stan.
Yeah. Like Brendan Schaub aiding and trolling the world. Or setting something up, you know? But so Dana... So you didn't watch the thing I sent you. He was like, Conor McGregor, you're a pussy. Dana White, you bald motherfucker, you're a pussy.
No, I went to his page and I looked at it.
He was like, you're a pussy. Bro, I mean, that's like...
The thing is...
Do you know what that is? Like, when you talk about Conor, it's one thing. When Jake Paul... So fans, I encourage you to shit on Dana and always hold the boss, the president, anybody accountable for bad shit they do. But, like, That's almost like I think a lot of people almost take when you attack Dana or even attack Conor as like, all right, as Nate Diaz took it. Nate Diaz jumped right up and was like, what, bitch? Like,
No, Nate Diaz jumped on it because AJ Agzam was like, he put up a
no, the first thing that Nate said was in response to, I believe, Conor. And then AJ Agzam.
Oh.
You sure?
I don't know, dude. Like, he gave a fuck about Conor.
It's all happening
AJ Agzam is his fucking boy.
This is like this. It's all happening so quick, and Jake Paul's at the center of it all. What the fuck?
So, AJ Agzam put in his story...
him armbar... A post, actually, of him armbarring Jake Paul.
Right. And then... Jake
posted sparring videos.
No, Jake. I don't know which one came first. I don't know if the sparring videos came first or
the armbar video.
Right. Today. So, and then I see on the AGM Exam's story, and I'm like, or not his story, like his wall, and like him being like, hey, dude, you're getting out of line, da-da-da. Like, if I need to be your daddy again and put you back in your place, whatever. And then I'm like, let me see it. And I see Jake's story. It's a video of Jake, like, fucking Agazam up on the feet. But before that, it's...
Bro, he was fucking Agazam up.
Something, him being like, yo, I already beat up your buddy. You don't want this smoke. I'm doing push-ups, not cush-ups. Did you watch his whole story?
Yeah.
Like, hang on. I think he's a piece of shit in terms of fighting. He's doing a great job. He's like, Conor, fuck you. Dana, you're a pussy. Nate, what? Your friend? I beat him up. Fuck you. I'll beat your ass too. I mean, he's gonna catch it.
Bro, he's doing an amazing job of marketing. Amazing job.
Hear me out. Stan, how much money... You actually might die for free, right? To a body shot. Bang. One shot. But imagine you ran your mouth so much to Tyrone Spong that, like, how much money would you have to pay to be like, yep, Tyrone, full fight?
A lot less than Jake Paul is going to get for Conor McGregor.
Exactly.
Bro, he's going to make money.
He probably know. I mean,
if him versus Nate Robinson, granted Tyson had a big hand in it, did 1.8. If they did Jake Paul, Conor McGregor, and flipped it and had Mike Tyson versus somebody on the undercard, and then the feature fight, they had like a legit fight. Then another, like they had like 3 legit fucking boxing fights, a Mike Tyson special attraction, and then Conor McGregor, Jake Paul as the main event. If they just did...
Is Conor McGregor versus Jake Paul above Tyson and somebody? I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson have his prime.
Yeah, for right now.
And the way social media is and shit like that, like the hype behind it.
Yeah. And, I mean, with the way Mike Tyson was, if there was social media, he would have either, I don't want to say, went to jail quicker or straightened his act out quicker or had it all unravel quicker. As I'm sure is the case with many professional athletes. But we'll wrap this up. Jake Paul, Conor McGregor, it's looking closer and closer like a reality. Him calling out Dana like that, that's a chance for Dana White to be like, to watch the video and be like, all right. I'll get this kid fucked up.
Like, I will win by this guy. I'll make millions, and this guy will get his ass beat.
Yeah, Jake. So you're gonna fight Conor. You want it at 185? You can get it at 175 or 170. We'll make you cut a little weight, and you guys are gonna fight with 8-ounce gloves. And I think Conor fucking hurts him bad.
Yeah, because when you start talking about someone's wife...
Floyd, that's the thing. I've seen so many people, too.
And you talked about that.
I've seen casuals say, Logan has a chance. This is boxing. Like, people say, oh, they're going to fight. Yeah, but we're talking about boxing. What? Like, you think Logan has a chance against Conor in a boxing match? Like, it's not even... Conor fought arguably the best ever in Floyd Mayweather. This dude fought Nate Robinson, and I don't even know the other guy's name. Like...
No, me and you were speaking about it, too. Like, let's say Floyd or Conor, who would you rather fight in a boxing match?
Who would I rather fight?
Yeah.
Conor.
Who out of the two of them would really want to hurt you?
Oh, Conor.
Like,
I mean, Floyd.
Torture you if he could.
Floyd could hurt you too. No, that I don't get.
Oh, 1,000,000%. But Floyd's like, come get this.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna
be like.
Well, we're gonna see it with Floyd versus Logan Paul. Floyd could play.
And that's really confirmed, right?
Yeah. Floyd can, that Logan was talking about it on the thing with Brendan Shaw, but like Floyd can play around. Floyd can do an exhibition. Floyd can, even carry himself enough to not get hurt versus Logan Paul. Conor is going to fucking, it'll turn into a brawl.
He doesn't know how to tap.
Yeah, like he doesn't know how to. Oh, and then even add in that, like Logan Paul's not going, Floyd, you beat up your wife and blah, 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 and dragging fucking out his dirt.
Right.
Bro, Jake Paul's poking the bear. He does have size, but like, this from being a professional athlete. I know this from growing up in the sport. There's levels to this, so.
Yeah.
It might go bad.
And it's going to keep continuing. We'll touch on it as it goes.
Absolutely. But episode 101, Menace and the Man. It was great seeing you, Menace. Good luck in this snowstorm. So you're going to have a lot of work.
Yep.
But stay safe out there.
Thank you, Buzz. Well, see you later.